Welcome to a new episode of the United Shooting Channel. My today's guest is Olga PewPew. Olga, I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you for inviting. It's a big pleasure to be here.
I talked to you briefly before this, what we can talk about, and I think there's a lot of topics. Maybe you can just briefly explain to the viewers what you're doing and
Sure.
what the company you're working for is doing.
Sure. So I come from Switzerland.
Yeah.
I live there. Originally, I come from Ukraine, so that's my origin. But I live in Switzerland in the French part. So I'm working together with AGX. So I'm part of AGX team. AGX is a French company.
Okay.
So we have three parts in the company. So we have the firearms training and CQB for the police in France.
Mm-hmm.
When we go to Swiss, we also involve civilians because the law allows it.
Yep.
We also have the medic part. And I am responsible for the sports and nutrition because we believe that sports and tactical goes together.
Of course.
Yes, as we all feel this weekend, right?
Yes.
So that's the idea, to be a unique hybrid athlete in a tactical world.
Maybe you can explain briefly what the difference is between the civilian and the military or law enforcement part, also of the training, and how the courses differ.
Yeah, sure. Well, the courses are, if we take police and army, so that's, we go a pro mode. So there is more specific details on the field, on the battleground. They get more information in detail. That civilians don't really necessarily get because the government is not very open to share that kind of information, you know. So civilians get...
Also, sometimes you don't want to train the civilians
exactly,
that stuff.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But in Swiss, for example, because we are covering two countries, it's French-speaking world. So France is one, it's very European Union kind of setup, so it's quite restricted. But when we go to Swiss, it's more like US-like. So we are more open. We can, for example, in medic, if we take, we can go, we can go wound packing and things, but these kind of things are forbidden in France. So we quite differ the programs between the two countries. So civilians in Swiss, they get pretty much good coverage, 70% of what the pros get in their training. But really the goal is to first have a good foundation in your shooting skills and then build on that, right?
Sounds very good.
Yeah.
You said that your specialty is sports and nutrition.
Correct.
Maybe you can talk about that because that's something completely new to the podcast, and I think it's something that I could need as well. So
lots of people would need that, but no pressure. The most important when the person is ready. That's when success comes. Yeah. So,
but I think for the Lynx Brutality, it's very good to talk about that because there's a lot of stages where you need to be very fit.
Exactly, and that's what we actually did with Polinar before the Lynx Brutality. We did a 12 weeks preparation series, which were little reels on Instagram, which were kind of one team per week. We would show a shooting technique and a sports technique to train for Lynx Brutality. So that was a super good idea, I think, that worked well. People seemed to enjoy it, and that was good. But the idea is, for me, because I'm a big fan of military and police world overall, myself, I'm civilian. So I thought, how can I contribute to the community? Because I'm not a pro shooter, I'm not a pro instructor or anything. So that's where I brought my nutrition and sports knowledge to the community. And the idea is to make a guy performant, fit, and efficient on the ground. And also, it's good against injuries because most of the people only get injuries because they're not properly training for the task. You have to come prepared, in a brutal situations like this, like we faced this weekend, you have to be ready.
So what do you think is the most important part with the exercise and nutrition part? Like, what would you say is for the shooter who wants to compete in this challenge here? What do they need to do?
I think nowadays the trend and the reality is, life is balance, basically. And sports and nutrition is balance. So in sports, you have to be able to keep your cardio at a good level, as well as to be strong, right? Because here we run. We are very explosive at the stages here.
Yes.
You have to be endurant, you have to be explosive, and you have to carry heavy. So this is what we call hybrid athlete mode, where you train cardio and strength at the same time. I think that's the best way to train for our kind of activity that we do. And nutrition can do magic for anybody. Even if you are a mega fit person, so basically in nutrition you have three main goals: weight loss, mass gain if you want to bulk, or performance optimization. So if you are already at a good level, you can always introduce little tricks with nutrition and you will be more performant.
What do you think was the hardest stage, or is the hardest stage here? I mean, you're competing as well, so.
Actually, I don't think there is a hardest stage. They are all very tricky, you know.
Okay.
So it's my second year here. I found that every stage has its own trick. Even the lights one, which you would think it's the easiest one, right? You go there and your brain goes like a monkey drums, you know. Like the lights are flashing, you have to run fast, and so that's tricky. For example, with a barrel carry, you know, the one which is filled with half water. Yesterday I was it destabilized me completely. I didn't expect it would be moving so much.
Okay.
Because it's quite heavy, and it's almost, I wouldn't say my weight, but not far away. So it destabilizes you, you know. So you don't expect, until you get in, you don't know what to expect. So, and that's so cool.
Because a lot of people were saying that the kettlebell stage is very hard. And then I had Fabio yesterday here in the podcast, and he was like, the kettlebell stage, that was the easiest by far. But I think that's because he was training a lot for that one.
Yeah, I think I was very scared of that one because it's 36 kilos plus 24.
Yeah.
In my life, I never touched 36 kilos kettlebell. So I said to myself, okay, it was good that they allowed us to carry it and not to throw, because for me to throw it wouldn't be impossible. Yeah. So what I did, I used the weight of my legs, because that's kind of the strongest part of the women. It's the legs. Okay. Like the guys are like more in upper body and the women are in. So I just used my legs and I carried it as much as I could, and then I just dropped it. So that was a good trick, and it wasn't that horrible.
You just mentioned being a woman. How is it being a woman in this whole environment? I think that's
it's so cool.
Okay.
It's so cool because we are few.
Yeah. I would say around, like where we are here, maybe around 5% maximum.
This year, actually, I counted. We are 7.
Oh, okay.
Last year we were 4.
Okay.
So you can imagine, and it's a men's world. But I think it's a big advantage because we are directly visible, we are directly seen, and all the guys are cheering for us. So it's so good. It's I really love it.
But is it like there are some guys being like, oh yeah, we have to help that, we have to help you, and trying to like give you hints or tricks and.
Not at all, really. Not at all. I mean, they are very nice.
Okay.
I have never met anybody that was not nice or saying, "Oh, you're just a girl." No, never. So the community is really supportive, and that's what I love. It's like you are kind of special, you know. So it's nice. It feels good.
Are there any challenges in the upcoming future that you want to compete in?
I'd love to go to Finnish Brutality, so that's something I haven't managed to get tickets. Okay. It's tough. Refresh is you are late.
When is the ticket? I heard yesterday that the tickets are not being sold yet.
Not yet. I think they sold a part of the tickets already, and then there is a second part as well. So I told to myself, if it's not this year,
I cross my fingers for you.
Next year. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting to see. You just mentioned the community. I think it's a very cool community here. Everyone is being nice to each other. I think there's a lot of suppliers for the industry here where you can check out the products and actually test the products. And everyone is very nice. Yeah. Is that normal on a shooting competition?
I think it's good, yeah. It's. I mean, people come here to have fun, right? And what Polinar do super well is they promote the having fun part. Yeah. You compete you against you. Of course, naturally, is you compare yourself to others. But the most important is you versus you, and you come and have fun with the guys, and you get to know so many people, and so many countries are here. So I think year by year, it's growing a lot.
It's very interesting what we're talking about here. Do you think there is a change in politics as well in Europe for the whole shooting community? And you as a woman, and also being like a public figure in the whole sport, how do you tackle that to show the public that it's not guns for military use or guns for war use, that it's actually like a tool for sport? Mm-hmm.
I think. Indeed, I mean, it's a sensitive topic for many people if you go outside of our industry, right? Yeah. People are scared of guns because they don't know them. So what they see is gun is crime, gun is a criminal, and gun is violence. So it's very interesting to discuss with people and let them know that actually when you come to a shooting range, it's the safest place you can be, because everybody is super serious about safety. Rule is number 1. And then when you explain and you kind of let them know that it's not so dangerous, they relax, and they hopefully change their mind a little bit. So it's 1% at a time. And
I always see those shooters, you know, when they're like bringing their friends, you know, shooting for the first time. A lot of people are very scared of actually touching the gun and doing something wrong. And I think then is the time when most of the bad stuff happens, when people are scared of it. But I think it's a tool like anything else. You know, when you have a hammer for blacksmithing, you can hurt yourself really bad with that one either. And you just need to be prepared, listen to the instructors. But I think maybe you can talk a bit about that, because you train also the civilians. How do you go with the topic of actually like gun safety? How do you tackle that one?
We are very paranoid about that. So gun safety, we start baby steps. So usually people, when they come, they're very excited and they want to be John Wick day one. So we have to manage that, right? We drill them on safety maximum, finger up, muzzle direction, everything, all the safety rules. And there you can stay at that stage, actually, depending on the person, because everybody is different. But you can be staying in that stage for quite some time until you are able to move with the gun, until you are able to use the holster and everything. So we are psychopaths in that, actually.
Sounds very good. Olga, thank you very much for joining me today. And you're still shooting today, right?
Yes, I'm starting at 1 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what stages there are today?
Today there is a car stage I saw. That scares me a little bit, because I don't know how to go through the window of the car yet. But I'm going to figure it out. There is a rope climb up. So that's the new thing. There is a technique to do it. I used to run Spartans a lot. I tried it yesterday with the heavy vest, because I'm in a armored category. It's quite heavy, so we'll see how that will go. I'm not very confident.
I cross my fingers for you. Thank you very much, Olga, for joining me today, and good luck.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it's my pleasure.